Hey everyone, it is fall in most of at least the northern hemisphere. Where I am, it is currently not quite feeling like fall, but I'm into those fall colors and fall looks. Today's video is sponsored by Walmart and it is all about fall beauty. The hero and focus of this video is this guy right here. It is from Maybelline. It is the Soda Pop palette and I have been having so much fun playing with these shadows. So keep on watching. We're gonna get the brushes out and make this happen. All right, I am excited to get in and play with that palette, but first let's finish the face. I've already done foundation, concealer, powder. That'll all be listed in the description box. And if my face looks a little bit red, it's because I filmed this entire tutorial, but I didn't hit record. So I just had to wash my face and we're gonna start all over. Already powdered, like I said. Next, we're gonna go on to bronzer. This is a rediscovery and a second time chance. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I usually use this in just this butter bronzer shade. This is the light shade, which I had tried years ago and didn't care for. I'm trying to find a brush. And I recently repicked it up. I was just kind of curious and I like it. I think it blends so much more beautifully into my currently naturally pale skin. So just gonna shove that all over my face. And what's nice about this lighter shade, on me anyway, is that I can't overdo it. Like I really can't. I do love this brush. It's the multi-purpose brush from Equate Beauty. It's super soft and like the name implies, many, many ways to use it. Now for the product I'm the most excited about. You will be seeing this again in September favorites. And I have been using this if you've been reading down into the description box of my previous videos the last few weeks, well, 2 weeks maybe 3 weeks. I can't count, but whatever. You'll have seen this listed. It's the Master Chrome Jelly Highlighter from Maybelline. I have it in the shade 20 Metallic Rose. I don't think you can see it. I don't want to tip it. It's like a very, it's not quite jello consistency, but it's a gel, like a jelly. It's like jelly. Except you can't eat this. It's the coolest stuff and I love it. The best way to apply it is really with your fingers. I apply it right over powder, no problem. Like that. And then I just kind of brush it and pat it. You can take a brush, take your foundation brush if you really want to blend it in. But look at that. I mean, it's so subtle and pretty. I think it's particularly nice on more mature skin. I think I qualify. I'm in my late, am I in my late, is 46 late 40s or mid 40s? What do we want to do? What's the vote on that? Just old? Midlife? I mean, it's all good. I don't mind. I would mind not being alive, so put a little too much on my finger there. I mean, you can get a little, I'm gonna blend it in with this brush a little bit. It's just the prettiest glow. I love it. Okay, so there you have it. Now for the blush, I'm sticking with very neutral, natural shades because there's so much color gonna be happening on my eye. Again, from Physicians Formula. I bought this, brought it home, and realized I already own it. It's the Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Natural Beauty. It's just a very faint, again, kind of goes with this very pale skin theme here. If you are a little more darker complected than me, which is pretty much everyone watching this video, the plum version of this would be really pretty, I think, with the look I'm about to do. Let's get into eyes. Now, I mentioned that the hero of this, the focus, is this beautiful palette from Maybelline. It's the Soda Pop palette. It has a, okay, did I just get, no, I thought I just got eyeshadow on my nose. It has a very, very faint odor, but as you can see, my nose was basically touching it and it was very hard to discern. This is the hero palette, and the look that I'm trying to emulate that I did a few videos ago was only using this palette. However, when I was at Walmart picking this stuff up, I did see this. This is the Marnie Hyperpigmented Eye and Face Palette in, I don't know, it has literally, it doesn't say. It doesn't, whatever. It's this palette. It's green. And there are some really pretty shades in here. And I kind of want to pull, I'm not going to use the shades I really want to use. That'll be a different video. But I am going to pull in this very nice matte light brown because I'm going to need that for this. First, we're going to start with ginger ale all over the crease, just being very sloppy about it. It's a little bit warmer than my skin tone. It's really just there to help blend everything else that we're going to be using and tone down some of the more orange shades that I'm considering popping in there too. Using that same brush, I'm going in with Soda Pop. It's more of a off, not quite orange, corally kind of shade, a little more neutral. And I'm gonna choke way back up, so to speak. Always have to have a baseball or sports reference, I feel like, in my videos. And because I don't want too much pigment, this is where I really don't want to be heavy-handed. And I'm gonna pull that up to like the hood part of my eye, and I don't mind if this gets a little bit on the lid too. I'm gonna use a little smudger brush and take that sugar, yep. And run that under the eyes as well. And then blend with my fingers. I do want to make this a teeny bit, not more wearable, but a little less dramatic because I am going out. So I'm going to dip into Grounded right here. I would also use a bronzer that maybe isn't quite as light as the bronzer that I pulled on today in my crease, but I'm just going to layer that in there just to pull in a little more neutrality, so to speak. And before I pack on the color, I am going to hit my brow bone with this shade here, Chilling, just to define that a little. You could even use your face powder if you'd prefer to use that. So now I've loaded up my brush. Look at how bright that is with Great Pop right there. You can see in the light how it shimmers. But to really make it pop, you want it to be a little bit wet and use it more like a foil. So I'm just going to take some setting mist. This is from CoverGirl. I'm leaving the inner corner bare because I'm going to pop something else over there. And I'm bringing it up into the socket because otherwise when I open my eyes, you will see nothing. Look at that. Nothing. Okay. We are back. Now we have to blend a little bit. So I'm going to go back with Sugar High and a fluffy brush and just kind of go along the edges. I don't want to muddy it up too much. I don't want to really add too much color. But I do want to blend. And I want to define a little bit. So I'm going to take a slightly less fluffy brush and I'm going to go in with Root Beer, which is the darkest dark brown shade. It has some undertones of purple in it. And I'm just gonna stamp this in the outer corner. I don't wanna get too crazy. I can definitely add too much. Just really lightly in really tiny circles. Adding and pulling up. And pulling what's left up a little farther. Just so I can use as many shades as possible, I'm gonna soften that a little by adding Cherry on top, which is the kind of darker matte maroon magenta. I'm kind of just going to pat that on top and blend, just kind of wiggle my brush. I'm barely moving it. And whatever's left, I'm going to just drag a little bit, like the outer quarter. Remember, I left the inner corner bare. I'm going to take a little kind of detailer brush and I'm going in with the lightest shimmer shade, which is Tonic. And I'm going to start patting that on into the inner corner. Inner bit of the lid. You could use your finger too, especially if you're trying to blend it onto the purple a little bit. I do find that shimmer shades have a better payoff when applied with a finger versus a brush, so let's try that. Just my fingers are kind of fat, so it's hard to really get them in there. And that is the basic look. If you wanted to add even more dimension and more color, and why stop here? Go back with your finger and we're gonna dip into Soda Fizz, which is probably my favorite shade in the palette. I'm more of a neutral girl. As you can see in the light, it kind of shifts a little bit, but it's like a light champagne or light soda color. I'm just gonna get that on my ring finger and gently pop it without adding too much more than just a little bit of shine. And that's it. So I'm gonna curl my lashes, put on liner and mascara, which I'll list all in the description box, and then we'll finish up with lips. Eyes and face are done. Where'd my lipstick go? Here it is. You can decide to use all kinds of shades with this really, but I prefer if I'm gonna focus with bright color on one part of my face, and to me this is bright, I wanna keep the rest neutral. So I still love these shades. I wish L'Oreal would come out with more options. This is the L'Oreal Color Re Shine, and I'm gonna go with shade 900 Glossy Fawn. It is just a very neutral brownie. It's a brownie shade, basically. I also think that a very neutral plum shade would look pretty with this. Any kind of nude lipstick. Let me take my hair down and we'll finish our little time together. So this is the finished look. It's great for fall. It's great for any time, but I'm ready for those cooler temperatures. I'm ready to bust out my thermal shirts and feel that cool, crisp air. Currently, it is just a fantasy, but I'm looking forward to that happening soon. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if you want to see more looks from this palette, maybe using some of the more neutral shades. Let me know if you're interested in the Milani palette. It's really fun. I don't know how I've become drawn to color, but I'm having fun with it, and I encourage you to do the same. It is always a pleasure to partner with Walmart. They allow me to be as creative as I want, and thank you to you for continuing to make these opportunities happen. Again, everything is listed below. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!